Hi, today we're going to talk about sending hearts. It is the January 2021 paper pumpkin. And to begin with, we have the two cards that came with the kit, which are adorable, but really what you want to focus on is what to do inside of them. I took the back stamp of the heart stamp and I inked it up and stamped it, and then I stamped that cute little snail over it. It makes for a really cute inside or an outside of a card. What I did on the inside of this card is I took the snail that we have in our kit and I reversed the image. And I know I am telling you about it in our Friday paper pumpkin, but to reverse the image, what you need to do is you simply stamp on the back side of your heart image that is nice and flat. Stamp your snail on that, and then you stamp it flat onto your card, and you'll get a reverse image of your snail. Pretty cute, huh? Alrighty, let's talk about the kit that you got. There were some goodies in there, and inside there are 6 cards, I think. So the first card, just to remind you, is it's actually 2 in 1, and so I made a clear card for you, and the instructions we're going over on Friday, but just to remind you, it's very similar to the traditional card that's in the kit, but I glued the white piece onto the clear piece, and I cut my card base in half and glued it to the inside of the card. So that's the way I made that clear card. And then instead of putting the black piece underneath this piece, I put it underneath the white piece inside the card, which is pretty cool. I did the same thing with the second card. Again, it's a clear card, and so very similar to the card in the kit. However, what I did is I cut my card base in half and glued my card base on the inside of the clear piece. I glued the white, what is that called? Mailbox piece on the front. And then I glued that black piece on the side inside with a white piece, and you've got all of those pieces in your card kit. So fun to do some clear cards and something really different. Oh, I know. On this card, what I did when I glued it on the inside, I cut it in half, but then I took a very small sliver off the bottom, which is like a 1/16 of an inch, maybe an 1/8 of an inch, just so it fits up inside easily and closes really tightly without interrupting or without getting in the way of the fold of the clear piece. So you need that little tiny sliver, maybe it's an 1/8 of an inch, that tiny sliver cut off of your card base before you glue it onto your clear base. Okay, so that's card number 1, which is actually 2 in 1. So there's that one. Okay, now for card number 2 and 3, I did them together because you're going to need some of the pieces that you cut from 2 for card 3. So for card 2, this is what I did, And what I did is I cut down the other half of that card base that you had from the clear base, the clear card. I cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4, and I glued it at an angle. Oh, well, I glued it straight, and then on the white piece that I gave you, I stamped snails all over it. I used the Poppy Parade that came with the kit, but you know, if you've got other colors and you want to do a variety of colors of snails, you can do that. So I did that. Then I popped up with dimensionals that little piece of red that's in your kit, and I glued a piece from that other card base that I had left over. I put thank you on it. I double folded a piece of twine, which you have, and I added a little one of our cute hearts. And on the inside, I took the little pieces that were, when I cut this down, when I cut this red piece down a bit, I had 2 pieces, and so I glued them inside for a little bit of interest. So that's how you do card number 2 or 3, depending on how you're counting your cards. Then for card number 4, what I did is I took one of our regular card bases, and I stamped the Poppy Parade behind on the piece of the white heart that I gave you. I glued it flat on the black heart that I gave you, and then look at, I got a red enameled heart. How did I do that? I just took my red ink, I put some on a paper towel, and I sponged it. So I made a red heart from a pink heart. And then you also have the black dimensionals to add. This was another strip from the extra piece that I had from this card. And I also gave you a red piece of cardstock. And then this is simply one of the scallop pieces that they gave you. But what I did is I cut it in half, and I glued it from this end first and then from this end. So there's a gap right here, but who would know, because the heart covers it. So again, the heart is bumped up on dimensionals, and I added the U on the little piece of white paper. I left the inside for you to be creative on your own. Okay, so that's cards 2 and 3, or 3 and 4, depending on how you want to count them. And again, we'll be putting them together on Friday, but if you want to start, you can take a look at what we're doing ahead of time. Okay. Card number 4 or card number 5. I love this card, and I think you will too. It's a shaker card, and inside your envelope you have some sequins, and you have one of the cute little snails that came in the kit. The add-on kit, you have a piece of Whisper White, basic white. You have a piece of Poppy Parade, and you have a card base. You also have a clear envelope, and you're going to need that clear envelope because that's what you're going to do, put on the outside of your card. So what you're going to do is take your smaller piece of Whisper White, and you're going to stamp it however you want to stamp it. I took the large heart image and the hugs and kisses and randomly put them on there. You could easily do the smaller heart You could do the snail. You could do love. That just doesn't, whatever you want to do. What you need to do though is make sure you use the snail inside, and the snail is bumped up on dimensionals. And the reason why the snail is bumped up on dimensionals is then it raises that piece of clear envelope a little bit so that your sequins can move around. Okay, so anyway, once you've done decorated your card, and you bump up your snail and put your snail wherever you want him to be inside, on top of that a white piece, then you're going to slip it into the clear envelope, and you're going to make sure that it is down at the corner really tight. You have your images right here, and you've got your little snail here, and then you're going to just drop your sequins right in there. Then you're going to take the piece of the envelope flap, and it's got a piece of sticky on it, and you're going to tape it to the back as tight as you can, and then using some Scotch tape, you're going to tape down that edge so it's really nice and tight. Then from there, you're going to glue it onto your, you're going to glue all of that down onto your red card base. And then on top of that, or underneath that, you're going to glue it onto your white card base. So, and then you're going to put some black ribbon all the way around it and tie it. It turns out so cute. And on the inside, I put "Sending Love Your Way" from the stamp set. So we'll be doing this card. You're going to love this card. You can do it, you know, remember, once you learn a technique, you can use these techniques for all different kinds of cards, not just a Valentine card. But if you have a special, significant someone you want to give a fancy card to, this just might be the card this year. I think this one's going to be Art's card. All right, and then the last card / project I have for you is actually making this adorable little box. And again, this was the add-on box that came with the as a added on charge this time, and the other little snail. I went ahead and cut out the envelopes for you, and you just follow the score lines and fold the envelope up. It's so cute. You use your scissors to just cut this little red piece at an angle, and see the XOXO. It's not from the stamp set because it's in white, and I used the jelly roll pin that we've used before to just do the XOXO. So very easy to do. I think this is just a little piece of cardstock from one of the bases, and I tied a ribbon on there before I glued it onto the card base, or onto the box. The box is already scored, so you just fold it. It looks just like a teeny tiny paper pumpkin box, and 4 Hershey's Nuggets fits into here really well. Piece of jewelry fits in here really well. A special "I love you" message fits in here. So super cute. It won't go through the mail just in an envelope. You would have to do something special, but it sure is cute to put on somebody's front porch, on the at the breakfast table. You can put a little gift, but super cute. And again, if you don't want it to be for Valentine's Day, don't put the XOXO. You can put whatever you want on there. There you have it. The last thing I want to share with you real quickly is some of you are going to be into Chinese New Year. It is coming up February 12th. And so what I did is I made 2 red envelopes to feed the lions. I'm sure I will be feeding lions somewhere, hopefully at Pachanga. But so what I did is I took one of those red envelopes and I cut it in half. And then what I did is I took the edge of the flap and I just matched it up with the edge of the cut side so I could cut it, and then I would have 2 edges that look the same and meet in the center. So very simple but fun way to feed the lion if you are going to a Chinese New Year. Alrighty, there you go.